Hi, my dear friends. It's Michelle. So, it's been about a year since I've made a video, and I guess I don't get a lot of inspiration real quickly. It takes some time for my inspiration to come. So here's another one. Woohoo! I'm down here in Supai working as a teacher, and it's an amazing experience. And maybe I need to make a video about how I was brought down here. I'll do that one day. But today I wanted to tell you a little story about how the last few days have been, and how I've been thinking a lot about the concept of karma and what it might actually be. Now, something that I'm really understanding a lot lately is that our understanding of things is like an onion. And a lot of you have heard of that metaphor about the layers of an onion unpeeling. So whenever I have an epiphany like I have lately, I also want to remind myself and others that there's probably another epiphany underneath that. So I'm just understanding a certain layer, but there's going to be a deeper understanding later and later and later. So the latest layer is about karma and what it might actually mean. Yeah, a few days ago, I was almost medevaced out of the canyon. So for those of you who don't really know where Supai, Arizona is, it's an indigenous community, the Havasupai tribe, in the bottom of the Grand Canyon. It's the only tribe that actually lives inside the Grand Canyon anymore. And they used to have a lot more land, but the history of that is very deep and very tragic, and there is a deep reason why I am down here. But going back to what I'm talking about today, I was almost taken out on a helicopter because my intestines had some issues the last few days, and it's the same thing that I've had over the years. Maybe every 4 or 5 years I have an intestinal blockage that happens because of scar tissue, because of a lot of stuff going on in this core of mine. So I'm given the beautiful opportunity to meditate on it today, and I want to share that with you a little bit. So here's my citrine. Citrine is a good healing stone for exactly that solar plexus area. And I've been meditating a lot on what all of these blockages inside of my core mean. So I'm getting to my core issues, really. So I'm going to put the citrine right up here with us. It's going to be out of camera shot, but it'll be looking at me while I'm looking at you. So I've been making a lot of realizations and having these realizations confirmed that a lot lives in our body. Emotional states live in our body. Experiences that we aren't ready to deal with live inside of our body until we're ready to deal with them. And so going back to that concept of karma, so the Hindu tradition basically states that, and this is a very simplistic way of putting it, is that if you do something good or if you do something bad, that it's on you. It comes back to you to deal with. So if you have good karma for, like, maybe you've helped an older blind lady across the street or something like that, then something good will happen to you in return. It's a very simplistic way of looking at it. Or the opposite as well, is like if you do something intentionally harmful to somebody else, that's going to come back on you, and you're going to have to deal with that in a negative way. And so over the last several years, I've been noticing a lot that there are people who deeply believe in karma, and they can offer a lot of solid evidence for themselves and experiences that they've had that karma truly exists. And then there are those others, like friends and other people, like our current president in this country, that seem to not experience karma at all. And it's very strange. So why do some people seem to experience it and some others don't? Some people might say that it's coming in a future life or afterlife or whatever like that. But I'd like to offer another possibility, that when we have an experience, when we have a certain emotional state attached to an experience, or a thought state attached to an experience, and we're not ready to deal with it, it finds a place to live inside of our bodies until we are ready to deal with it. So if possibly you were in a car accident and jammed your shoulder, and somebody next to you jammed their same shoulder in that same car accident, and one of you heals really quickly and the other one, I don't know, lives with it for many, many years. Maybe it's because that person hasn't truly felt what they experienced. Maybe they closed themselves up against it. Maybe it was just too much to deal with and too frightening. Something called susto in the Mexican curandero tradition, that it's like a state of fright that lives inside of the body. And maybe the other person really truly experienced what they experienced. They felt their fear, they got through it, and then it's done. Maybe that. So maybe karma is just that, is that we give it to ourselves if we're not ready to deal with it. Maybe that's all. And maybe those people who don't experience it, either they're in a very evolved state where they can let things go or process through things really quickly and efficiently and truthfully, or maybe they have a mental health issue that might not make them feel anything towards actions that they take against others or towards others. So maybe they don't experience karma because they don't really feel the guilt or the emotional connection to whatever has happened. I don't know. I'm thinking that I'm onto something. I don't know. What do you think? So anyway, I have had a lifelong, possibly longer than lifelong experience with my core, starting from the fact that I was born with one developed kidney. And then at 6, I had an appendectomy, and ever since then I've had something in my core, some surgery or some blockage or something in my core to have to deal with. So I'm going through this experience right now of like, I'm ready to deal with all my karma, with all of my built up stuff that's still living in my body. I want to deal with it now. And I started thinking about that like a few days ago, and I started doing some yoga that specifically stretches the scar tissue inside of the pelvic area and the core area. And I seem to have triggered the old stuff coming up, which is the weirdest thing. So I had these massive contractions of pain. They're like waves of pain. Like if you think of like how when you're digesting, your intestines squeezes the material through your body as it's processing and getting the nutrients out and getting rid of the waste material. So there was like waves of pain, and then it would settle, and then waves of pain, and then it would settle again. And then it went a lot quicker this time than it ever has had. Of course, I had the help of an amazing healer that's actually my second mom. So she's an amazing being that helps me and many others get through some things. And I know that she was definitely behind my processing through this quickly, but also that I'm willing to. And that was a big thing too, because I've been going through a lot of other healing experiences where if you're willing to heal and you're really willing to go into the experience of your pains and your blockages, that it will get dealt with. My core, I haven't felt. It's been feeling like this big empty space. I've not been able to feel it. So this is some of my deepest stuff that I get to work on, which that's great. I'm happy about it, but it does come with some intensity. I feel like I'm rambling and I completely lost my train of thought about something that I was talking about, but it's all connected anyway. So I'll just say that I'm really, really grateful for this experience of dealing with the karmic stuff that's in my body. I don't have to understand every experience or emotion that's been attached to it. Some of it's probably not even mine. I might be carrying it for my mother who birthed me. I might be carrying it from before this lifetime, if that's truly something that exists. I'm always open-minded about questioning my own belief system, and I think that's healthy and strong to always question your own story, even if your story sounds really good. So yeah, that's what I'm going through right now. So the interesting thing is that I started recognizing that there is another type of contraction that happens in the pelvic area. Guess what? Birth, you know. And I've never had the experience of birthing a live human being in this life. I wasn't meant to have that experience, and partly it was a choice of mine. And I built it into my body to not be able to do that intentionally, which is crazy. But it was meant to be, and part of the experience that I'm going through right now is accepting that and embracing it and saying it's okay. It's not a negative thing that I chose that. It's just the way it was supposed to be, and what I needed, and what everybody else needed me to do, and that's okay. So all of this built up energy inside of me, it feels like it's mine and it's everybody else's, and it feels like it's time to release it. And so it's sort of this birthing process of releasing a lot of karma that may not be just my own, but it might belong to everybody in some weird way. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? But yeah, you know what? This is where I am. My crazy doesn't harm anybody. Then we're good to go, right? I think. I don't know. Well, I know you're gonna all have opinions of your own. It's gonna bring up whatever it brings up in you. And so if you're watching this, then that was the intent. Like, you're watching it because you needed to trigger yourself in some way to learn something or affirm something, and that's okay too. And thanks for watching, you guys. I love you, and I'm really excited about being able to share a little bit of my story with you, and I'll try to continue to do that. Maybe I'll try to let the inspiration come out and be shared a little bit more often as I get more comfortable with this process myself. Love you.